In this video, I'll walk you through how I made a complete techno drop using just one sample. I'll show you some of the processing and the layers and how I did this. So I'll let you listen to the complete drop first. Now, let me show you the different layers and what I've done with this one sample. Now, this is the original. So this is the bass pluck without any processing. And basically what I've just done is pitched a little chop from the original sample down an octave. And then I've added quite a lot of processing. I've got a drum bus to fatten up the low end a little bit. I've cut the subs and then also the top end a little off. Just taking the volume down with utility, reverb 20%, OTT just to squash it a little bit. And that sounds like this. Then next up we have the Reverb Pluck, which sounds like this. And that is similarly just a pitched up 2 octaves, same pluck. And then I've put a reverb on it, delay, EQ, utility. And all of these sounds have been processed with just Ableton stock effects. So you have everything already in Ableton Live to do this. The resonator pluck, similar concept, pitched up. And then we have utility, making it mono. We've got a phaser flanger. I've put a redux on just to reduce the bitrate a little. Resonators to add some harmonics, some notes, audible notes to the sound. Without it, it sounds like this. You can hear a little bit of that. Those 2 notes that I'm adding. Convolution reverb, an auto pan just to pan it left to right. Then we have the main loop, which sounds like this. Now what I did here is just warped it with Ableton's Beats mode and stretched it to fit the rhythm that I wanted. And I pitched it up 1 octave, so it sounded like that. Then for the processing, I've got a chorus, reverb, and echo. And then the main loop, which comes in the drop section, or after the drop. So that's that main pluck. I've got OTT, saturator, and just cutting some of the lows. Then I have the low loop. That one's not pitched, but it does have reverb, echo, EQ, and I've got a sidechain on it. Same thing in the drop. Then reverb layer. Basically just took part of the loop and looped it there. And we have utility, delay, reverb, and another utility to automate the volume. And this is quite an interesting one. This is a reverb freeze layer. What I did here is I took the reverb layer and I froze the reverb. So what that does in Ableton Live, you can play some audio and freeze it, and the reverb continues. And then what I did is I resampled this. So I went into resampling, and then I record enabled, and I just let this play out. And now I have if I unfreeze and listen to this, I put a compressor on, side chaining, and it's essentially a pad. And then for the drop, I took the same sound and I pitched it down 1 octave, and that sounds like this with the same processing. And that was just to fill out the low end a little bit. and contrast with the higher pad that we have in the pre-drop section. So that is pretty much it. The drums I've just used a kick, I made a rumble using another kick drum. Not too complicated. And then for the drums, for the hi-hats and ride, I've just used the 909 kit. Pedal, reverb, and some utility. And that is it. Pretty simple. Just some creative thinking, a little bit outside of the box, pitching, stretching, and you can basically fill out the whole drop with just one sound. Now, if you wanted to add some synths, serum, I don't know, massive, whatever you want, to flesh this out and maybe take some of the ideas that you found in the sample and transfer those to MIDI, you can do that. But I find this is a quick way. I can really work quite fast and get some ideas down and find some sounds that I would have not usually found in a sample that maybe would have seemed quite unimpressive to you before, but you can really make some cool stuff out of these. I hope you learned something and can use this technique in your own music for whatever genre you like to make. Really, it works for everything.